Good evening, BookTube. I was looking at my BookTube channel, and it's been 2 days since I've made a video. And it is a Friday night here in West Michigan. It is 9:29 at night. It is January the 19th. My wife just went to bed. I can't go to bed until at least 11 o'clock. And I'm not really, I don't watch television. I'm kind of sleepy. And I'm not really in the mood to listen to music or mess with the internet. So I thought, hey, I'll make a video since it's been 2 days. As far as my January 2018 diary, I ended on page 46. And tomorrow I'll be on page 47, January the 20th, 2018. We are slowly going through the month here in West Michigan. Today we had a mix of sun and clouds. Doesn't look like we're going to have any major snowstorm, but it is cold. So today is Friday, so what is Friday Reads? Well, as you know, on Fridays I volunteer at our local library used bookstore, the Book Nook. And when I was at the Book Nook, I took one of my Bibles and I read a little bit of God's Glory and Salvation Through Judgment, Biblical Theology of James M. Hamilton Jr. I'm on the book of Exodus, the Torah. That's where I'm at. I think I finished, I'm going through Exodus right now. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think I'm in Exodus. And tomorrow morning, Lord willing, if I read this, I'll be in Leviticus. But when I was at the Book Nook, I was, like I said, I don't know, I was kind of sleepy. We got up really early this morning, had oatmeal, we went grocery shopping, and I came home. It was about 9 o'clock, and I left for the Book Nook at about 9:45. And when I got home, the house was quiet. Carol went out with a friend of hers for the afternoon. She went out for lunch, and etc., etc. So when I came home, I didn't really read anything. I don't know what I did. So I really haven't read anything today. As far as, like I said this morning, I read that God's Glory and Salvation Through Judgment. At the Book Nook, I got these two books at the Book Nook as my free books. This is the Vintage Book of Contemporary American Poetry, edited by J.D. McClatchy. There's poems in here by Sylvia Plath, Robert Lowell, James Merle, W.S. Merwin, Allen Ginsberg, Frank O'Hara, Elizabeth Bishop, Anne Sexton, John Ashbery, and some others, Robert Duncan. So I got that. And then I got this little book of poems by Anne Sexton, love poems. I really like the poetry of Anne Sexton. And I have a big Anne Sexton collection. So I got those at the Book Nook. At the Book Nook, I saw a bunch of books that I wanted to buy, but they had not been priced. So I put my name on them. And hopefully I'll get a phone call and I can buy those. There was a biography on Defoe. There was some letters by Evelyn Wan to Deborah Mosley. And then there was a biography on John, the painter Whistler. And then there was a biography or a memoir by one of John F. Kennedy's confidants, one of his special assistants during his administration, John F. Kennedy. There's some other books, but I don't know how much they're going to charge me for them. I'm waiting. I got in the mail, I think I got this, what day did I get this book? I got it in the mail. Let's see. Must have got this book in the mail. This is the new Niall Ferguson's book, The Square and the Tower, Networks and Power from the Freemasons to Facebook. I got this in the mail, I think yesterday. I think it was yesterday, late afternoon. Niall Ferguson is one of the world's most renowned historians. He is the author of 15 books, including The War of the World, which I have in our library. Niall Ferguson's War of the World, 20th Century Conflict and Descent of the West. And then he wrote this book by Niall Ferguson, The Ascent of Money, A Financial History of the World. And then I found all these books at thrift stores. I didn't buy them. I found them at thrift stores. This is Colossus, The Price of America's Empire by Niall Ferguson. And then I have volume 1 of his House of Rothschild, Money's Profits, 1798, 1848. I don't have the second volume in our library. I'm still looking for it. So I have those. He's written a lot of books. Like I said, he's written The Ascent of Money, Civilization, The Great Degeneration. He wrote a biography on Kissinger, 1923 to 1968, The Idealists. He is the Melbank Family Senior Fellow at the Hoover Institution, Stanford University, a visiting professor at a university in Beijing. He's won all kinds of awards. So this is his new book. To me, it looked pretty interesting. So I bought it. And Amazon had a really great deal, like almost $25 off this. So I got that in the mail. And the other day I read a lot of, it was yesterday, I read almost this book all day long. The Darkmans by Nicola Baker. I ordered from Amazon her new novel called Happy, which I'll be getting in the mail sometime in the next couple of weeks. I think it's coming from England. Yeah, I've read 547 pages. She's become one of my favorite writers. I plan to keep reading her. She's really worth reading. And I don't know, I've been reading The Most Dangerous Man in America, Timothy Leary, Richard Nixon, The Hunt, The Fugitive, King of LSD by Bill Minutaglio and Stephen David. I'm not really impressed with this. It's like reading, I don't know. I wish it was more documented. I wish there was more footnotes. It just reads like a gossip column. It's just, but I don't know. I'm not really that thrilled about it. So yeah, that's my Friday reads. Like I said, I really didn't read anything today except the book on, where did I show that book? Yeah, I read this. That's about it. I suppose, like I said, I read the Darkmans all day yesterday, and I got kind of burnt out, kind of fried. I did look at this book yesterday. I read the introduction, and I might look at this tonight before I go to bed. Probably put me in a sleepy mood. Going back about God's glory and salvation through judgment, biblical theology. I mentioned this is a good book if you want to go through the Bible from Genesis to Revelations, just to go through it. Give you an overview of the Bible, going through the Pentateuch, the books of Moses, and going through Judges and First and Second Samuel and First and Second Kings. But another way that you can, I've been thinking about showing you this series. This is a series I bought a number of years ago, and it has 6 volumes, and this is volume 1, Exploring the Old Testament, A Guide to the Pentateuch by Gordon Wenham, volume 1. And then you have volume 2, Exploring the Old Testament, A Guide to the Historical Books, like Judges, and you go through Judges, Joshua, First and Second Samuel, First and Second Kings, Esther. These are really good. Then you go to volume 3, A Guide to the Psalms, Wisdom Literature. Like it has a section I've been reading on the book of Job. There's a big section. It just gives you an overview of these books of the Bible. And then you have A Guide to the Prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Amos, Hosea, Zephaniah, Zechariah. And then you go into the Guide to the Gospels, Exploring the New Testament by David Wenham and Stephen Walden, volume 1. And then you have Exploring the New Testament, Guide to the Letters or the Epistles of the Paul and Apostle Peter and Apostle John. So it just gives you an overview. It's very, very, it just gives you an overview. So you can read these as you're going through the Bible and get an overview of each book of the Bible. It's a good series. It's very conservative, evangelical, it's scholarly. I bought these years ago, and once I was getting them out today because I was reading on the book of Exodus. See, it has here the book of Exodus. And just to give you an overview of each book of the Bible, it's a good series to have. This is really good too. I'm enjoying reading this. I usually read over my life. I read through the Bible, but I use books like this, or I look at a book like I've been reading on the Epistle of Hebrews and the Reformation Commentary series, and reading Greg the Great on the book of Job. And so I'm always trying to keep my mind in the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, the plan of redemption. And I like reading church history, and I like reading biblical theology and New Testament theology. And so I just thought I'd show those books to you. This is a good set to have if you want a good basic overview of the whole Bible. I don't know if they're like $25 a volume, but what you can do is buy them like over a period of time. That's what I do. I bought them over a period of a couple of years. So that's what I'm reading. That's what I got in the mail. That's what I got at the book Nook. like this is a Friday, tomorrow's a Saturday. I'll probably read this in the morning, or I might read my Reformation commentary on Hebrews and look at more of this, the Square and the Tower, Networks and Power, from the Freemasons to Facebook. And yeah, and like I said, I haven't been really impressed about this book. I don't know. I read a chapter, but it's like reading, I don't know, it's just kind of sucks in a way. So I hope you're having a good, you had a good week, that you have a good weekend. Thank you for the subscribers. Thank you for those who watched the video. Thank you for the comments. And yeah, not much else going on. I don't plan to do anything this weekend. I did go around thrift stores, and I do have a big stack of books that I bought at thrift stores around here, and I'll show those in a future video. So I'll sign off, hoping you're having a good night and a good weekend. Till next time, bye.